In the year 20XX AD, the first annual Super Robot Fighting Tournament was held. Featuring robots from all over the world, before long, only the 8 most powerful robot masters remained. But it was at this point that the sponsor of the tournament, Mr. X, took control of all the robots and began his campaign to take over the world. Mr. X, why?
It's time to tell you the truth. I've been manipulating that fool, Dr. Wily, from the beginning. But now I no longer need Wily's help. Come and face my power, Mega Man.
We'll stop you. Follow me, Rush. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I already made it to Mega Man 6. But yeah, that's right. Welcome to Let's Play Mega Man 6, the last of the Mega Man games on the NES. Certainly not the last Mega Man game, but the last on the NES, and my goodness does this series go out in style with 6. I love Mega Man 6, it's fantastic. I will get into it, but it's so much better than 5. Let's go over the 8 robot masters we're going to fight. We're going to be taking on, Wind Man, Flame Man, Tomahawk Man, Centaur Man, Night Man, Yamato Man, Plant Man, and Blizzard Man, each one located in a different part of the world, sent by Mr. X to take over. Oh, I am so excited to get into Mega Man 6. I love this game so much compared to 5. In 5, I was kind of lukewarm. I was, complaining and rambling and bleh. But 6, I love 6. 6 is fantastic. What a way to go out on the NES. Even though I think at this point Mega Man X already came out, or the SNES was already out, so I don't know why they still kept making Mega Man games on the NES, but whatever. Point is, it's here, I love it, it's great. Let's talk about Flame Man, or, DN043. Flame Man has a small fuel generator installed in his body. He has to refill his energy 3 times a day. Like, his square meals. 3 square meals a day. A good point, he is punctual. A bad point, he's demanding. He likes to trim his beard, even though it's mechanical, and I don't think he could do that. Unless it's real hair, that'd be weirder. And dislikes cheap oil, because it's all about oil. Speaking of which, the oil. Main gimmick of the stage. You will notice oil all over the place. If those fire enemies shoot fire into the oil, then the oil becomes instant kill fire. These small enemies that flip when you shoot a charge shot and nothing else can be used to float across the oil or the instant kill fire, which is necessary. Or else you die instantly. Anyway, Flame Man, according to the Mega Man 6 wiki and according to what Capcom says, was designed in-universe in Saudi Arabia. Each and every single robot master comes from a different, unique part of the world because this is a world, robot fighting tournament, and contestants from all over the world made robots, not just in real life to submit to Capcom for the Mega Man games, but in universe, many contestants from all over the world designed robots to compete in this tournament that Mr. X then decided to take over, so this is pretty cool. Nice, unique, different environments. We're going to different parts of the world. We've been going to different parts of the world in all these games, but it's a lot more clear here because they're kind of stereotyping a little bit, but still, it's very clear that we're going to different parts of the world. It's very cool. It's like a big Mega Man world tour to go out on the NES with, it's a great way to end it. I love it. Mega Man 6 is great. I don't know what else. I'm not going to keep saying Mega Man 6 is great. Well, I will, but not right now. These guys can also, just like those other earlier fire enemies, can shoot fire into the oil and thus make it insta-kill. I almost died there. Thank goodness I did not. We made it to the boss. Alright. Flame Man is pretty easy. Very good candidate to go after first. You'll notice I'm going to go after 4 very specific robots. They're easy, but there's also a very good reason why I'm going after them first. But let's talk about Flame Man first. He's got 2 attacks. He is going to either create flame waves with his buster by shooting it to the ground. If he shoots it on the ground, then it's always going to come out, the flames are always going to come out on the same spot until he jumps to another location, in which case the flames will be randomized again. But, if he shoots in the ground like 2 times in a row, then the flames will always shoot out in the same spot 2 times in a row. His second attack is that very slow flame buster attack, which is very easy to dodge. Very slow though, so don't get confused by that. But the flame waves that he shoots, basically, if he doesn't jump, if he just stays in the ground in that same exact spot, and shoots the flame into the ground, then he is going to always shoot the flame in the same exact spot, so you can always memorize and, you know, not get hit by the flames. Anyway, overall, he's very easy. You saw how it went. I don't have to keep rambling on. I got the Flame Blast and the Rush Power Adapter. Rush Power Adapter we're going to talk about very soon. But first, like I have since Mega Man 3, the passwords. You know how they work. There's only red dots this time, so put them down. If you get them right, then you get to advance to a different part of the stage. You get one at the end of every Robot Master level, not in the castle levels. And yeah, that's that. Overall, Flame Man's a very good candidate for first Robot Master. Second Robot Master is going to be Blizzard Man. I'll talk about his bio in just a second. Let's talk a little bit about one of the two biggest new features of Mega Man 6. Yeah, I said that right. The adapters. The first one that I got was Power Mega Man. Power Mega Man can't slide, and his shots have very limited range, but they are far more powerful than Mega Man's normal buster shots. Overall, you're not going to find too much use for this outside of certain scenarios, but it's still very nice to have. And this is how they incorporate Rush in the game. There's no more Rush Coil, no more Rush Marine, and no more Rush Jet. There is a Jet something coming later on, but not your normal average Rush Jet that we got in Mega Man 3, 4, and 5. We'll be getting a new type of Rush Jet, so this is pretty cool. I like how they use Rush in this game. Very, very nice overall. Okay. DN041, Blizzard Man, a robot made to monitor the weather. He can also make it snow. And he's based in Canada. He was made in Canada, in universe. A good point. He's a good commenter. A bad point. He's shady. He likes skiing and dislikes snowboarding. By the way, those are the types of blocks that Power Mega Man can break. We'll get another example of that later on. But there's no hidden path there. There's nothing to talk about. Hidden paths, by the way, I'll talk about more in a second. But there's no hidden path there, no nothing. If you manage to get on that little spot there, then you can get yourself an extra life by destroying that block with Power Mega Man only. The Flame Blast will not destroy it, so keep that in mind. Whew, jeez, I said a mouthful. But yeah, we're in Canada. This level takes place in Canada. The first level took place in Saudi Arabia. This is... love Mega Man 6. Anyway, those blocks, we're going to have a much more in-depth look at how they work right now. Because there's one right there after I destroy this thing. There we go. Okay, so... you would think a Flame Blast could destroy them. Mega Buster shots cannot. Flame Blast can neither destroy those blocks. None of those things can destroy those blocks. The only thing that can destroy breakable blocks is Power Mega Man, as you just saw. And yeah, that's Power Mega Man's usage. If you can get really up close to enemies, then, you know, go ahead and use Power Mega Man to lay some serious damage on them, but for the most part, you'll be using Power Mega Man just to destroy blocks. Hidden paths. I mentioned that earlier. There are a lot of hidden paths in Mega Man 6. 4 of these levels have major hidden paths to them, and the castle stages of Mr. X that we'll be getting to later have 2 stages that incorporate multiple paths, so... exciting. Really cool. Mega Man 6 is just breathed new life back into Mega Man, where Mega Man 5 just kind of reused the same ideas and came out as a half-assed, lazy attempt, which is ironic because Mega Man 6 is considered by many fans to just be a very heavily edited version of Mega Man 5, which I can see that. Most of the assets look pretty much the same. I mean, no more different than any other Mega Man game, so... the screen looks the same as it did in Mega Man 4 and 5, the boss screen, I mean, so, you know. I guess this could be a very heavily edited version of Mega Man 5, but this is a very heavily edited version of Mega Man 5 that had some care and love put into it, in my opinion, because this game is just... it's just fun, and Mega Man 5 just, for a lot of it, just was not fun. These bombs obviously explode in 3 seconds. I don't have to talk too much about that. The final enemy of this stage is a second rematch with this octopus mini-boss, so... Or is a first rematch with this octopus mini-boss. Yeah. He's always going to have to shoot two... He's always going to have two missiles shot on screen, just like the Hippo from Mega Man 4, and he's going to shoot ice blocks, so there's not much to say about that. Made to the boss. Blizzard Man is weak to Flame Man's weapon, as you'd expect. And Flame Man will get to his weakness when it becomes relevant later on, but Blizzard Man is weak to Flame Man. Go figure. Because he's snow and Flame Man is flame, because... clever. I know. Anyway. Blizzard Man has two attacks. He is going to either shoot his blizzard snow pellets at you, snowflakes, I guess, at you, or he is going to roll up into a ball, Sonic the Hedgehog style, and slam into the wall that you are currently near, at which point you just need to dodge. Again, his weakness, Flame Blast, you just saw it there. He's not that difficult. He's a pretty good candidate for first Robot Master. His level is a little bit, it's a little bit difficult, but not really that difficult. It's a little bit longer than Flame Man stage, I think, but it's not all that difficult. Well, I mean, relatively to Flame Man stage, it is. No, it's a Blizzard attack, that's what it's called. Relatively to Flame Man stage, I guess it is more difficult. The boss himself, though, isn't that bad, so... Him or Flame Man are good candidates for first Robot Master. Anyway, just like Mega Man 5, this game has a continue feature. And just like in Mega Man 5 and Mega Man 4, using the continue feature gets you nothing. You don't get to refight the boss again at the end, as you can see. So, woohoo. However... there is reason to continue and, replay the stage again. You're probably wondering what that is, because unlike Mega Man 5, there haven't been any letters or hidden items so far that we've encountered. Because Mega Man 4 had the balloon and wire items, and Mega Man 5 had those, the letters that when you collected them all gave you Beat the Bird. Mega Man 6 doesn't seem to have that. Well, it does. For 4 particular stages that we will be tackling next time, which I'll get into in far more detail next time. For now, though, let's talk about Plant Man, or DN045. A robot created as a keeper of a robot created to be a keeper of a botanical garden. He can communicate with plants. A good point, he's sensible. A bad point, depression. Oh, that's a shame. He likes sunbathing and dislikes honeybees. Alright. But yeah, we're gonna get into what the hidden collectible items of Mega Man 6 are next time in very, very, very heavy detail. By the way, Eddie's back. Once again, he drops you a whole bunch of items. There are a lot less situations where you can go back a screen and then go back forward to see if Eddie gives you something different. Because a lot of the times they set it up so that Eddie comes in a screen that there's only one way out and one way in, so... they kind of force you to just accept whatever Eddie gives you in that situation, but there's a couple of them where you can go ahead and go back and forth until you get what you really want from Eddie. Anyway, this stage, one of the main gimmicks is these springs. The way the springs work, and I finally figured it out completely and totally, you have to hold the jump button when you're jumping on the springs in order to get a very high jump. If you're just pressing the button as you get to the ground, or if you're just... I don't know, if you're just not pressing it at all, you're going to do its very low jumps, but if you're holding the button, you're going to do those high jumps, which you will see more of right now. Well, not right now, but in this screen, because I had to hold the button there, so not holding it, not holding it, not holding it, not holding it, holding it, holding it, holding the button. That's how the springs work. To get high jumps, just hold them. And yeah. Oh man, that's another mouthful there. Hope I'm not talking too fast. I probably am. Well, whatever. For all 4 of you watching, hopefully you can deal with me talking a little bit quickly. There's a lot of information to get out when it comes to Mega Man 6, so, want to make sure I don't miss any of it. Holding the button. Remember, you gotta hold the button for this section if you want to make those high jumps. Making low jumps, don't hold it, but hold it when you want to make super high, long jumps like that. The reason I'm stressing it is because a lot of people don't realize you have to hold the button in order to make these jumps, but you do. You have to hold it, or else you're not going to be able to do this section well. Or you'd have to wait until you get another certain adapter, which I already kind of spoiled. But whatever, we made it. No real hassle, so it's pretty good. Anyway, Plant Man is going to be our shield boss for the game. We've had one of these in almost every game. I think every game, actually. We've had some guy that uses shields. Maybe not Mega Man 3. But anyway, Plant Man's the shield guy. He's going to have the plant barrier. Woohoo. You know. He's going to walk towards you. He's going to jump either towards you or away from you. And then he's going to shoot the plant barrier at you. You can try to get him into a position where he's always going to... jump and never jump into you, but it's very difficult to do. I didn't have that great of a run with the boss this time, although in the rematches you'll see I do a much better job with him. His weakness is the Blizzard attack. Flame Blast also does good work on Plant Man, but not as good as Blizzard attack. Blizzard attack does 4 units of damage, and Flame Blast does 2. So, yeah. Not that difficult overall. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love that. I love that little animation he does. And I also love that I don't have to explain what the powers do this time because we get to see them right there. We just see them. That's great. I don't have to explain it. We know the plant barrier is going to be a shield, so bravo. I don't have to say anything about it. I mean, I might in case there's other features that they don't show about it, but for the most part, I don't have to say anything about it because they just show what the weapon is. It's great. I wish every Mega Man game did that. Anyway, we're going after Windman, and we also got the Rush Jet adapter. We'll be showing it off later in this level, but first, let's talk about Windman, or DN047. With propellers and a jet engine, he can generate wind. He has a strong rivalry with Airman from Mega Man 2. Okay, cool. A good point, he's a good cook. A bad point, he is bad with bicycles. He likes kung fu and dislikes herb medicines. Alright, and Windman was made in China. In universe, he was made in China. Oh, and Plant Man, I didn't mention. Plant Man was made in Brazil. In universe, Plant Man was created in Brazil. In fact, he appeared in the Archie comics and was made by a scientist in Brazil. So I love that attention to detail. Ugh. Anyway, Windman stage. Main gimmick is going to be these propellers in the ground. You're just going to want to, time when you leave the propeller, because you don't get to control the height of it like you could with the springs and Plant Man stage. So there, for example, if I stayed on that propeller for too long, then I would have flown headfirst into the spikes. So it's all a matter of timing. It gets very tricky later on, but first, Jet Mega Man. Oh my god, I love Jet Mega Man. Alright, once again, Jet Mega Man, like Power Mega Man, Jet Mega Man can't slide. He can't charge his shots either. He only has the basic pellet shots. But to make up for that, Jet Mega Man can fly. And I think he's a little bit faster than normal Mega Man, but I don't know. But he can fly, which is pretty incredible. And because you have to get Power Mega Man and Jet Mega Man, they're not optional upgrades. They're things that you get as you play the game. Levels are designed around Jet Mega Man and Power Mega Man, especially the castle stages, because by then you're supposed to have all the weapons and both the rush adapters. So there are whole levels in Mr. X's castle that are designed around Jet Mega Man, which is really cool and makes for some really interesting platforming. And one of the reasons that I love Mega Man 6 so much. Anyway, these guys, the Mega Man 6 rendition of the Big Eye. I just can't get over it. Mega Man 6 breathed new life into the Mega Man series again. Into the classic Mega Man series again, because I think at this point Mega Man X did already come out. So I guess they were just riding that. This is the tricky bit, by the way. You gotta be very careful, you gotta be very quick to get across those propellers, or else you are gonna die by the spikes or the bottomless pit. Or the panda shooting you into the bottomless pit, so be careful with that. Which, yeah, I think by this point Mega Man X did come out, so I guess Capcom was just riding that, the high horse of Mega Man being awesome again after Mega Man 5, and, made a fantastic finale for the NES Mega Man series. Anyway, Windman. Pretty good candidate to go after first. He has 3 attacks. He is going to either try to suck you in, although it's far more powerful than Dust Man or Magnet Man or any other boss that ever tries to suck you in. He does it a lot faster. You have to actually slide to get away, as you saw. Second attack, he's going to shoot those gyro attacks. They're very similar to Gyro Man's gyro attacks. Just find a good position to jump over them, or jump in between them if you're really good. And finally, he's going to fly up in the air and try to get on top of you and land down really quick. Just slide to get out of the way of that. So, overall, not that tough, but he's fast and he does a lot of damage, so maybe not Robot Master go after first, but I did because of a very specific reason I'm going to talk about in part 2 when we go after the last 4 Robot Masters. But anyway, Windman's weapon, the Wind Storm, is the weakness of Flame Man. So here we go. We're back at Flame Man stage. Now we're going to use the Wind Storm and show off just how good it is against Flame Man. The key thing to note about the Windstorm versus Flame Man is Windstorm is going to go through the fire pillars, whereas the normal Buster shots will not. As you'll see right now, see? The Windstorm went through the fire pillars to hit Flame Man for massive damage. The Mega Buster doesn't do that. You would have to actually wait there until Flame Man is done with that. But with the Windstorm, you don't have to. Just take him out really quick. So if you're having trouble with Flame Man, go after Windman first. Although Windman's kind of tough, so maybe I shouldn't, but I did for a specific reason I'm going to talk about in part 2. Speaking of part 2, hope you had a good time. I'll see you next time, where we take on the last 4 Robot Masters, and then go after Mr. X. So thank you very much, and have a good day.